Next on the Center County Report.
Local runners just back from the Boston Marathon talk about surviving the bombings.
I heard this apocalyptic, thunderous noise.
Plus, the football game isn't the only big event happening tomorrow at Penn State. We have your guide to Blue White Weekend. The Center County Report starts now. Looking live at Beaver Stadium, the site of tomorrow's Blue-White game, where strict security measures are in effect because of the terror attacks in Boston and what's happening there now. Welcome to the Center County Report. I'm Anita O.
And I'm Peter Corveses. We begin with breaking news. A massive manhunt is underway right now in Boston for a teenage suspect in the marathon bombings. Early today, the two suspects killed a police officer and tossed explosives at police in a car chase and a gun battle. Police killed one suspect, but the other escaped. SWAT teams are swarming the city now to find the 19-year-old who's on the run. Both suspects are brothers from Chechnya. We'll update you as details come in.
As that manhunt goes on, Center County runners and spectators who were at the marathon are now back home, and they're talking about the terror attack. Nearly 24 people from State College were in Boston for the marathon on Monday. One was just yards from the finish line when two homemade bombs exploded, causing chaos and tragedy on a busy Boston holiday.
I was about 100 yards away, and all of a sudden, I heard this apocalyptic, thunderous noise, and I saw the flash, I saw the debris kick up on the left by the finish line area, and I was absolutely stunned.
Stunned is how many people felt after several died and more than 170 were seriously hurt in the blasts. Others here at home watched the horror on TV.
Marathon Monday is a big weekend for them. They all celebrate that day and watch the marathon. So I know a lot of kids were lining the streets watching, and that was really my first fear.
To prevent any other bombs from being remotely detonated, authorities reportedly shut down cell service in Boston, but that left many Center County runners unable to call or text their loved ones.
It was tough because when you weren't able to talk to people, you were kind of hoping that they were okay and that you kind of feared the worst if people weren't answering their phone, but just thanking God that everyone's okay.
Fortunately, running club members in State College were able to confirm all 21 runners were safe within hours of the explosions. Local runners in Monday's marathon were from Penn State's club cross-country team and the Nittany Valley Running Club.
Thousands of fans and alumni are rolling into State College today for Penn State's annual Blue-White football weekend. But the fun has taken a serious turn as police increased security after the deadly events in Boston.
University officials are ramping up security big time for tomorrow's Blue-White game. With festivities and tailgating expected to start early and end late, security personnel are taking every precaution. Fans entering the stadium will not be allowed to bring in any bags, backpacks, or even purses. Expect an increased and visible police presence throughout downtown State College and the tailgating fields. State police and FBI will be helping local law enforcement during the busy weekend. Officials will use technology, including camera surveillance, to monitor people and events. And officers with police dogs will be doing security sweeps throughout the day. You may have also noticed Beaver Stadium's lights have remained on for the past few nights, so security can keep an eye on the area. People we talked with have mixed emotions about how safe they really are.
I know that Penn State's being really careful and trying hard to be as protective as possible and as vigilant as possible, and I feel like people want to go about their lives. They don't want to shut down because of terroristic acts like this, and so I hope that everything will be safe, but I think there are reasons to be concerned.
I don't think any of us can live that way. I don't think we're, a nation that lives that way. So I think that we just have to be on our toes and alert, but past that, now I'm not worried.
Also, if you're driving onto campus this weekend, you may be stopped at a police checkpoint. And of course, as always, if you see anything suspicious, call 911 or the university police. Now, once we get past the security, the Blue-White game is about having fun, and there are plenty of events going on all weekend.
Reporter Scott Anderson takes a look.
After 15 spring practices, the football team is finally ready to hit the field for the annual Blue-White game, the centerpiece to the weekend. Kickoff is set for noon tomorrow, and parking and admission is free to the public. But the fun starts tonight with the carnival just outside the stadium.
My favorite part of Blue and White Weekend is definitely the carnival because the rides are a lot of fun, and usually if it doesn't rain, then we get to stay out there late in the evening and hang out with our friends and do something a little different.
Along with the carnival, there's a wing fest, and the fireworks are set for 9 o'clock tonight at Medler Field at Lebrano Park. Just before that is a performance from popular local music group Velveeta from 6 to 8. The fun doesn't stop there. The carnival will continue through the weekend with activities like their blue-white breakfast event tomorrow morning in the Bryce Jordan Center, with Bill O'Brien and the football seniors making an appearance.
All of Saturday, there's the one-team autograph session, there's the football event, and then there's lots of sporting events going on throughout the entire weekend. For example, men's volleyball, baseball, all the events that you can even imagine. It's a great football weekend with lots of other sporting events around the area.
New to Blue White Weekend, the one-team autograph session between 9 and 10:30 tomorrow morning features student athletes from at least 11 Penn State teams, minus the football team. And on Sunday, the Beaver Stadium 5K run and family walk gets underway. Reporting in State College, I'm Scott Anderson for the Center County Report.
Now it's the question all of us want to know. Will the weather be a problem for blue-white events tonight and tomorrow? Let's check in with Heather Waldman to find out.
Thanks very much, Anita. And anybody traveling into State College later on today, especially coming from southern Pennsylvania, take a quick look at the radar before you head out. We're expecting a line of showers and thunderstorms to move through the state later this afternoon. They should be through the State College area by about 4 o'clock this afternoon, but any of these storms could bring with them very strong winds, periods of brief heavy rain, and also very frequent lightning. So a dangerous situation is possible with some of these storms. The good news is once they move through, we're expecting dry weather by the time kickoff starts. The only thing is that very chilly air will follow some of these storms, and I'll have more details on how long that chilly air will stick around with the 7-day coming up next.
And we hope the rain does end early, especially for the carnival, which starts tonight. Reporter Ashley Lyotis has more on that tradition.
The carnival is the big kickoff for Blue White Weekend, and I got to catch up with some of the organizers as they prepared for their 3-day event.
Rides, games, and food. The typical attractions at any carnival. But this one is a popular part of Penn State's annual blue-white tradition. The carnival is one of many events going on, but it will be all weekend. Promoter Bill George told me it takes about 60 to 70 people almost 2 days to set up. But for each individual ride,
depending upon the ride or attraction, can take anywhere from an hour to set up to 18 hours to set up.
like this one, Flying Bob's. It comes in on 2 trucks and takes 18 hours to set up. That's 6 times as long as the actual blue-white game. People are excited about new rides like the Roundup, but you can't forget about old-time favorites.
Going to all the rides and everything like that. Probably the big slide is my favorite.
But the rides aren't the only attraction people are looking forward to.
For sure the funnel cake.
But after 2 days of preparations, it will all pay off tonight, starting at 6.
You come out here, you work hard, you work months setting this, planning and setting it up, put it all together, you turn on the lights, turn on the music, and the kids' faces light up. That's what it's all about.
Everything's going on in the parking lot right outside of Beaver Stadium, so if you come on down, they're going to have all your favorites and mine. Reporting in University Park, I'm Ashley Lyotis for the Center County Report.
Lots of fun, but again, there is a serious side this weekend with extra security. In fact, police have already done a sweep of the carnival with bomb-sniffing dogs, just to keep everyone safe.
Lots of alumni are here this weekend. One of them is Penn State legend Franco Harris.
Next, he's in our studio to talk about Blue White Weekend, and that's not the only reason that he's in town. Find out what else he'll be doing. Welcome back to the Center County Report. And as you can see, NFL Hall of Famer Franco Harris is joining us in studio, and he's back in Penn State. All right, Franco, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure, Peter. Nice to be here.
First, let's talk about the Blue White Weekend. You've been to a bunch of these already, and now what does this tradition mean to you and to some of the other alumni?
You know what? It's great to come up here and watch the new talent and see how the team has progressed from last year. As you know, Bill O'Brien's first year last year was just phenomenal. I mean, he did a great job of bringing the players together and also producing. And so I think all of us are anxious for this coming season. And in a way, it kind of starts here at the Blue-White game to maybe give us just a little flavor of what to expect.
All right, and you're also in town because you're holding an event upon further review, and this is going to be at the Days Inn from 3 to 5 o'clock today. And you say this is to debunk common myths and reveal unreported truths of the Jerry Sandusky scandal. Now, what are some of the key points that you want to get across with this event?
Well, you know, we will just talk about many subjects. It's pretty in-depth. And we will start with how the blame got to be put on Penn State and Joe, the actions of the Board of Trustees, which really caused other actions to happen, the free report, the NCAA, Emmert. So we really try to cover it all and really try to give Penn Staters another point of view, because when this happened, so many Penn Staters were around the country and they were being attacked about, oh, you know, how could Penn State, blah, blah, blah. And Penn Staters had no answer. Now, we feel when they watch our program, they have answers and they can hold themselves up and feel proud to be a Penn Stater and have a good conversation with people.
All right, and since the scandal broke at Penn State, you've stood up to support Joe Paterno, and now it's been more than a year and some people are saying that it's time to move on, we have to look to the next step. Now, what's your response to that?
You know what, it's never too late to get to the truth. And sure, there are people that want to move on, but I've only have heard it from the Board of Trustees and from the administration. I haven't heard it from anybody else. And as I said, there is no time limit to the truth. But one thing we don't want to do is that we don't want to have someone 20 years from now find out the truth and then say, well, why didn't anybody do anything back then? So our goal is to find the truth now.
All right, Mr. Harris, thank you so much for joining us today at the Sarah County Report. And now, if you are interested in attending Mr. Harris's event, it's going to be at the Days Inn at 3 p.m. in downtown State College.
There are 13 days left in Penn State's alumni trustee election. Reporter Matt Strohmeyer looks at this year's contentious campaign.
Until the Sandusky scandal broke, the Board of Trustees election usually flew under the radar and didn't get much attention. Now it's a much different story. With big name endorsements, lots of campaigning, and even attack ads like billboards targeting incumbents like Stephanie DeVinny. She's the board's current vice chair and is running for re-election.
I could never have imagined that my name would be on a billboard in Penn State, let alone in the context that it's in.
DeVinny says the negative ads won't deter her from her ultimate goal.
I want everybody to rally around each other, support each other, help each other, because at the end of the day, we all have a single solitary interest, and that is to see Penn State be the greatest institution.
One of her fellow alumni trustees, Anthony Lebrano, believes more drastic steps are needed.
In the vision that I have for Penn State, has a greater chance of success if I have other people who share that vision, and so I'm supporting the 3 candidates that I've announced.
Former State Senator Robert Jubileer is one of the candidates Lebrano has endorsed.
I wanted to see if the board could right its ship before I made any decisions. Well, they made it worse, in my opinion. And so I wired to the point where I have trouble sitting on the sideline if I can do something.
Not every candidate has received a key endorsement. David Mullally says that's not stopping him.
I happen to feel that I can bring something important to what is the current power dynamic on the Board of Trustees.
It is now up to the alumni to decide who's in and who's out. For the Center County Report, I'm Matt Strohmeyer.
At this point, nearly 22,000 votes have been cast and voting ends May 2nd.
Lawyers for Governor Corbett and the NCAA will be in a federal courtroom soon to argue over the governor's antitrust lawsuit against the organization after the Sandusky scandal. The proceedings is set for May 1st in Harrisburg. Lawyers will argue an NCAA motion to dismiss the lawsuit. Corbett sued in January, asking for the sanctions against Penn State to be thrown out.
You're taking a live look now at downtown State College, where the weather is quiet for right now, but showers and thunderstorms will roll through later on this afternoon, and behind them, much chillier air for the remainder of Blue and White weekend. Temperatures will rebound as we head throughout the rest of next week, but not before, again, very chilly conditions for the game tomorrow. Here's a look right now at the national radar showing a line of showers and thunderstorms just on the doorstep of Pennsylvania. Those will move through again later on this afternoon. Some of those storms could have gusty winds, very heavy rain, and very frequent lightning as well. So just take a look at the radar before you plan on heading outside or maybe even driving up to State College. Here's how current conditions look right now. 63 degrees outside our door with mostly cloudy skies. There is a noticeable wind there outside right now, though. Good news is it's out of the south, so it's a warm wind, but again, certainly not a very good hair day. Here's how things will look by the end of the day today, getting up into the upper 60s here in Centre County. But again, once that front rolls through, we'll notice a much cooler air mass moving in with winds shifting out of the north and west. Again, making things feel much cooler. We will see a few peaks of sunshine as we head throughout the game, so feel free to leave the umbrellas at home. But here's how things look on the 7-day. Again, temperatures dropping back into the 50s. That's slightly below average. And look at this. Sunday night's temperature, 25 degrees. We're looking at another frost. So returning back towards more winter-like conditions very briefly, though, as temperatures will rebound pretty nicely as we head throughout the week, making it back into the upper 50s by the middle of the week with a chance for some showers as we look into Wednesday and Thursday. So, guys, not a terrible blue and white weekend. I think we'd prefer if it was a little bit warmer, but at least it'll be dry.
Well, you know, Heather, I just want to tailgate, so as long as I can do that, I'll be happy.
I'm a little nervous about that wind, though. I can't really let my hair get that messed up. It's a little too important. And for more health news, many medical experts say that this generation of children may be the first to have shorter lifespans than their parents. Now, the reason? Reporter Joanna Rojas finds out.
Not depressed. I was really down on myself. I didn't want to be where I was in life. I didn't know what major I wanted to pick. I was all like wishy-washy, like changing one thing to the next.
About 69% of adults in the United States are either overweight or obese, and it's likely they feel like Alex. But Alex refused to become another statistic and instead took control of his weight before it took control of him.
I weighed 265, and then when I started weighing myself like every week, at first it was like 5 pounds a week. It was like dropping super fast. And then I remember one week I dropped 9 pounds. I don't even know how. I just, like, the pounds were coming off, and that's when I was just like, all right, I'm doing this, like, legit. Like.
Pennsylvania falls somewhere in the top 20 fattest states, and Mount Nittany health experts think it's about time Centre County became more informed on this increasingly dangerous and complex issue. To promote community dialogue, Mount Nittany physicians are screening the HBO documentary The Weight of the Nation at the State Theater downtown every Tuesday in April. The screenings are followed by a community discussion facilitated by a panel of medical experts offering advice on simple ways to embark on a healthy lifestyle.
A lot of people struggle when they go to eat at a party or in a restaurant. Maybe have a bowl of broccoli before you leave the house. People think it's kind of funny, but when they try it, it works. They take in those calories. They're smaller amounts of calories, there's more volume, they feel full, and they feel like they're in better control of their eating when they get to a place where they feel like they might be out of control.
The experts emphasize making small, moderate changes in your lifestyle, like taking walks after dinner, to make an enormous difference in your weight. For the Centre County Report, I'm Joanna Rojas.
According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, 1 in 3 children born in 2000 will develop diabetes at some point in their lifetime. And now it's time for sports, and Julia Azar is live at Beaver Stadium on this blue-white weekend. Julia?
Thanks, Pete. After the break, I'll have updates on the football team as their spring practice comes to its end. We've been updating you the past few weeks on the football team's spring practice, but now it's the last time for them to get back onto the field before next season. Here's our final update.
One of the main focuses for the football team during spring practice was to stay healthy, but it wasn't easy. The hardest thing for players to avoid doing during practice? Holding back on contact.
It's always hard because, a lot of us play football, we love to hit, and to, not be able to hit sometimes is hard because you miss it.
Players like Daquan Jones say that their sports nutritionist, Dr. Chris Kelly, has really been a great help for the team this past season.
It really helped me out, especially with my weight and stuff like that, and it's just a great resource to have because a lot of guys struggle gaining weight and losing weight, and it's been a huge asset to, this program.
As spring practice comes to its end, the final thing left for the team to do is play in the blue-white game. One thing that caught fans' attentions was Coach O'Brien's unusual scoring system for the spring game.
I don't really remember the scoring system last year. I was just, too busy having fun, I guess. I really didn't pay attention to that.
But Coach O'Brien says the scoring system is here to stay.
You win the game, you're Penn State, so I think it's more about the fans and, you know, kind of trying to make some big plays down the field and things like that. So yeah, I'm going to keep it the same.
Some may think the spring game is just a meaningless throwaway team scrimmage, but for the players, it's much more than that.
It's really important just because, you know, it's another day for us to get better. It's another day for us to be together and produce as a unit, just for us to get ready for the season, you know.
The game is set to kick off tomorrow at 12 o'clock, and we'll have coverage on Facebook and Twitter throughout all Blue-White weekend. Now, this isn't just a big weekend for the football team, but also both the men and women's gymnastics teams will be heading to their NCAA championships this weekend. Senior Sharia Musler left on Wednesday for the final competition of her collegiate career. Musler will be in Los Angeles this weekend competing in her third NCAA Gymnastics Championship. The semifinal begins today, and the top 4 individuals at the end of today will then compete on Sunday at the finals. The men's gymnastics team will also be at the NCAA Championships as they compete for their 13th national title. The travel for the men's team is a lot shorter than for Sharia Musler. Their competition will be held just down the street on campus at Rec Hall. Tonight at 7 o'clock, they will be competing in the pre-qualifying session with hopes of making it to the final round on Sunday. Once again, the women's lacrosse team blew out their competition. Penn State beat Lafayette on Wednesday night with a score of 19-10 in their final home game of the season. 5 girls scored at least 3 goals throughout the game, with senior Molly Fernandez scoring a game-high 4 goals and sophomore Maggie McCormick scoring 7. McCormick now has a career-high 63 points on the season. The Nittany Lions finished undefeated at home for the first time in their 22-year history. The girls will be heading to Johns Hopkins on Sunday to finish off their conference regular season schedule. The game is scheduled for noon. That's all for sports. We'll have more Center County Report coming up after the break.
The Blue-White Weekend tradition continues this Sunday. Runners and walkers are preparing for the 4th annual Special Olympics 5K run this weekend. Participants are getting ready to take part in the 1-mile walk at Penn State. 3,000 people are already registered and more are expected to sign up over the Blue-White Weekend. The 5K walk will begin at Medler Field, move throughout campus, and finish with runners going through the Beaver Stadium tunnel. Student PR Director for the Special Olympics Beaver Stadium Run, Kevin Janik, says it's important for people with disabilities to feel accepted in physical activities.
To show them that they too can compete and feel the same enjoyment out of sports as we all can, and to give them the courage and the social interaction to do well in other things in life.
Registration continues this weekend starting at 9 a.m. and the run will begin at 11.
And just one day after the Boston Marathon, the state college community joined together to compete in the 5K Jeremy's Run.
On your mark, get set, go!
Runners of all ages came out in memory of Jeremy Herbstritt, a Bellefonte High School and 2003 Penn State grad who was killed in the Virginia Tech shootings 6 years ago this week. The speaker at the starting line thanked runners for participating just a day after the bombing at the Boston Marathon. Several past Boston Marathon runners attended the race, and they said the tragedy inspired them to run. All proceeds from the race went to benefit the victims of the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting in Newtown, Connecticut. And now that's all for the Center County Report. For more news, go to our website, centercountyreport.com.
You can also follow us for breaking news on Twitter at Center County REP and check us out on Facebook as well. We'll leave you with a live look at Allen Street in downtown State College. Enjoy all your blue-white festivities and remember to stay safe.